Hi everybody, and a big warm welcome to day number 8 of our 30-day sketchbook challenge. So I've got something different for you today, which will be great fun to do for adults and children alike. Now, as a printmaker, I do a lot of printing, I'll do a lot of lino cutting, but I also quite enjoy doing something called found object printing, which is a really basic form of printing but can be super duper fun. I'm going to do you a quick demo just to give you a sort of rough idea of what I mean. You don't need any specialist printmaking equipment, just a little bit of paint. I've just got some kids paints here, these are from IKEA. So whatever paint you've got around the house you can use. I'd probably recommend finding some kind of sponge, but again, if you don't have one, kitchen roll or anything like tissue, if you can get hold of tissue paper, can be great to use. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to angle the camera down so hopefully you can see what I'm doing, and that will give you a slightly better idea of what I'm up to. So bear with me a second. This is super high-tech stuff going on here. So there we go, no expense spared on this challenge. Right, so I've got a piece of paper here and I've got some paint. I'm going to pour the paint into a paint palette, and I just need a little bit, like so. I'm going to grab my sponge and I'm going to dip it in the paint. There we go. So I'm getting a little bit on my sponge. I actually think I need slightly more paint, so let me squidge a little bit more. And then we want to find some objects that we think have some interesting shape. So this lid of, I think it was sort of a hairspray, I'm just going to dab the paint around the edge. And then I'm going to get my piece of paper, which is here, and I'm going to press it down onto it. Uh-oh, high-tech stuff gone wrong. Like I said, this is super high-tech stuff today. I'm propping my camera up with anything that I can find, just so hopefully you can see. So here is that little bit of printing. So let's find some other bits and bobs. One of my favourite things to print with, bubble wrap. This is super duper fun. So again, getting my sponge, and I'm going to put the paint all on top of the bubble wrap. It's funny, sometimes you need just that little bit more paint than you think. And I'm doing this super quick, just so you can see. This is not any particular professional printmaking thing. So there we go. I've got some paint on my bubble wrap. I'm going to print it onto my paper, which is basically just pop it down, give it a press, and we have some really cool, interesting textures. Okay, so that is the basics. You need paint of some description. I did use a paint palette, but again, you can use anything. So if you've got a plate at home, and I'm assuming you have plates at home, most of us do, just squeeze the paint onto a plate, grab a sponge of some description, even like a kitchen sponge or scourer that you're not using, or a kitchen J-cloth. Let's get creative, use whatever you have available to you, squidge the paint out, dab the sponge on it, and then have a go at sort of printing. Some really cool things to do can be to maybe start with light colours. Do some light colours, create a pattern, then try some darker colours, layering it over the top, and try all different sort of shapes of things and just see what you can come up with. Do make sure that if you're borrowing people's stuff, that you perhaps wash it afterwards, that you don't leave it covered in paint. But I hope that gives you an idea of what we're doing today. I'm just going to stand the camera back up again so that you can see my face. That's exactly what you need in your life, is to see my face. So that is our found object printing. Find some stuff, print it. It can be good to do this onto separate sheets of paper, and then you can maybe string these up on the washing line with a few pegs to dry, or leave them out on the floor ink side up to dry. Or of course you can work in a sketchbook and maybe close the sketchbook, open it and see what happens. You might find that you get kind of some nice offset printing going on. Okay. What I will also do is share a video that I recorded about 5 years ago, which is a longer, more detailed an explanation of found object printing, which does use proper printmaking inks, but is still using stuff like this to print from. And that's about 14 minutes long, so it will explain found object printing in slightly more detail. Okay, so I hope you have fun with this. It's something a little bit different today. Really good fun to do as a family or as a group. You can go and scour the house, see what things you can find. And as I said, obviously do be careful, do wash your hands afterwards, and do make sure you wash up whatever items that you have been painting with as well. So have a fabulous day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.